All right. Yeah, sorry about the lights in the background. Uh, there we go. I'll hook it up there. Hook it up there. Yeah, that didn't help for shit. Anyhow, this is about some crazy stuff that's going on, and I shouldn't get a strike for this because I heard all of this on YouTube to begin with. So basically, I'm going to start off with this Judge Jean Napolitano or something like that. I know I probably butchered her name, but oh well, I butcher a lot of people's names. She has been put in charge of something in New York, and I don't recall what she was put in charge of, but she is going after the governor Cuomo, who put COVID patients in nursing homes, and she's going after him for trying to go after him for murder charges. I find that a very significant change occurring as we speak. Another thing, the Harvard thing. Harvard's very powerful Ivy League college. They've put in a lot. They've got a lot of senators, a lot of congressmen, and even more judges that are graduated from their alumni from there. And they've just put a lot, did a lawsuit against Trump because he's trying to cut off their money because 27% of their students are foreign students, and their foreign students have to pay full price, coming up to about it was like 6,000 students have to pay $60,000 a year to Harvard. That's like fucking 400 million a year, and they don't want to divulge who their students are or what subjects they're taking. So they could be training and teaching all kinds of bad things, and I don't see where President Trump would do this if they hadn't already been found to be doing bad things. This lady, another one of Trump's appointees, said that they're expecting lawsuits, and that's all good. She said, "Tell them to bring it because they've been doing bad things for America," and I can't wait to see that. Another thing that's occurred is Congress people are starting to get arrested for their crimes. One congresswoman has already been arrested for busting into an ICE facility. More are coming. I've heard stories. I don't want to report on them yet because they're unsubstantiated or unconfirmed, but there's going to be a lot more arrests of politicians and other people coming down the road. And that is why I wanted to talk about this, see what you guys' opinions about it was, to see if you are even aware of why it was happening or what was happening. And yeah, a few good talking points that are happening. People say, nothing's happening. Well, you get someone, put them in a job. It takes more than 24 hours for them to actually get substantial things done, especially with the bureaucracy and legal actions that have occurred in this country that allow people lots of legal leeway because of lawyers and all this other stuff and money. So, but anyhow, Congress people are starting to quake and shiver because a lot of the Congress people, like the leader, what's up, Jeffro? Yeah, it's not financial advice indeed, but it's very good advice. And you actually don't have to sell it. You can trade it. You can trade your gold for platinum. One gold to get you probably 3 ounces of platinum. Man, is that some good arbitrage going on because platinum's going to soar. But yeah, things are changing on the front of the accountability. Uh, More of the administration is in position with their cabinet picks to where they can actually have hired people in key positions to actually be able to do stuff of consequence. And so far, what I've seen is, like I said, Judge Napolitano was put in a position somewhere in New York, and she is actively going after the ex-governor Cuomo for basically murder charges for sticking COVID patients in old folks' homes is what she's going after him for. And that one female congresswoman that broke into the ICE facility is also under arrest for felony charges. So things are changing. It's just happening slow, but it's going to happen real fast. And I have a feeling that July 1st is going to be very exciting. Leading up to it will be exciting, but and I can't predict there'll be anything that happens actually on July 1st. But there's a lot of things that change on paperwork July 1st. that'll create a lot of change in other industries and other things going on. And, you know, make sure to have your financial house in order before then, if possible. If not, join the crowd with the rest of us that don't have our shit together. But yeah, things are changing. And anytime Congress people start getting arrested, I don't know if it's happened in the past where they're going to get arrested the way they're going to be getting arrested this time. But anytime you take someone out of a position of power, the constituents that they have that gave them the finances to get that position of power always try to do something to screw up what's going on that put that person or took that person out of a position of power, shall we say. So anticipate a lot of things. And I don't know what's going to happen. And you know what, Jeffro? No hissing, you guys. You did an awesome thing by doing that. A buddy of mine, also known as the Economic Ninja, bought a whole roll of Platinum Eagles. And he did it when it was around, I think it was in the 800s. He bought it like 890, 877. I don't recall. Might have been like 910. So he got all 20 of them real cheap, and he's going to really, really appreciate owning that. As is everyone else. That's why I said for practically 3 years, started out with buy silver and platinum. And that's all I'd say, because I didn't know anybody. I was new to the YouTube thing. So all I put in there is and see what kind of response I got, and then engage with whoever responded. Yeah, it's well, you can't forget it for too long, because it's going to be moving and everyone's going to be talking about it. What's his name? David Morgan's already talking about it. Andy Schectman's already starting to talk about it. Rick Rule's starting to talk about it after me. But so more people are getting into it, because obviously more people watch those shows that those guys are on, and they're finally getting around to telling something about platinum. I actually messaged David Morgan. I said, hey, if you want to talk to someone who knows about platinum, give me a call. I'll tell you everything you need to know. Not only about platinum, but about the geopolitics. And that's another thing. Mark Rubio was in Congress doing talking to some people. They were, congressmen were asking questions, whatever, trying to find shit out. And he was saying, oh, shit, I forgot my point. It was a good one. Hell, I even forgot what he was talking about. Let me take another hit. He was saying about, well, let's get back to him and let's go to, here's another good one. They're known as NGOs. They were set up under the Democratic Party. And they were set up to be able to funnel money into as a nonprofits to do government work without the government regulation and all this other stuff. And a couple weeks before Biden got out of office, $90 billion was approved for non-government agencies that do charitable work on behalf of the government. And they handed out this money, not on a practical level of, oh, we have a project ready to go and we need the money to get it going. They handed out this is a big sum, $90 billion. The Biden administration handed out at the end of his administration. And he was handing them out on the promise of doing something. They didn't even have to have a white paper or anything like that. They just said, okay, we need $4 billion. We're going to do something with it. And Biden handed them $4 billion. Totally not the way you hand out money in the United States to companies and whatnot. Totally blew me away. So we got that going on too. And trust me, that money, people are going to get arrested for. Another thing people are going to get arrested for is all of those pardons that Biden gave out. It was all now just proven that it was auto sign. It was a robotic unit that signed his signature. It was not the president or POTUS president of the United States at the time, which had been Joe Biden. It was actually somebody else. It was a robot that signed them, which makes them null and void. That means Fauci Gates, all these other people that got pardons, they're no good. So you can anticipate as soon as our legal system of the new administration gets all their ducks in a row, they'll most likely be going after all those people that supposedly got pardons from Joe Biden that turned out to be auto-signed pardons. So there's a lot of things going to be happening. That's why I suggest that you try and get your house in order as much as possible, because it looks like July is going to be when shit hits the fan. AI weekend at Joey's. Speaking of which, a lot of people down in Las Vegas right now for that Bitcoin convention. So, y'all, I mean, you guys know I'm not a big crypto guy. I don't talk about it too much. I do talk about it a little bit because there is money to be made in it. And with these changes that I've just talked about, if you think about like Warren Buffett, he I'm sure knew this was coming. And like 2 years ago, and I told everyone, he started selling out of Coke, Pepsi, and all those other things, and started buying into this group called Geo Group. And that company makes money off of putting people in jail. Wow, is he doing good now? And I told everyone to buy into Geo Groups because it would be big. That was before 60,000 fucking illegals got thrown in jail and their stocks started going to the roof. So even in bad times, stocks fly. Certain stocks, certain cryptos will do the same. And then about this precious metal thing, about this precious metal gold thing going up. I have a theory on this gold thing. And yes, there is a cup and handle on the precious markets. Yes, there's a cup and handle on gold and silver. And yes. But if you look at every other precious metal cycle, gold runs and silver sprints. Gold doesn't run, then pull back, run, then pull back, run, then pull back, run, then pull back before silver runs. My speculation is we haven't hit the actual bull run of the gold and silver bull run yet, because this is not charted, but Basel III was created in 2008 to prevent another financial catastrophe that happened in 2008. They put in the whole world governments, BIS, WEF, all of them agreed that they would start enacting that Basel III Accords July 1st, 2025. What that means and how it pertains to gold is under the Basel Accord, I think right now, and don't quote me on this, but I think right now all the central banks have to have like an equivalent of 10% of their loan value in actual physical gold. But under Basel III, they have to have 27% or 22%, a substantial amount higher, causing them to buy gold. Who has been buying a lot of gold? Who started this supposed gold run? The central banks. So I don't think the gold silver runs actually started. I think it was front run. It was a front run by what we're experiencing in the price is a front running of central banks, for which everyone knows central banks are buying gold. Gold maxis will tell you, oh, central banks are buying gold. You ought to buy it. Yeah, well, that's a good way to think. But the reason why they're buying gold is because they have to. Under Basel III, by July 1st, 2025, they have to have. Well, they have until June 30th, 2028 to come into full compliance, but they have to have close to 22 to 27% of their holdings in gold, over 10%. So what happens, and if you have 187 central banks that have to increase their gold holdings in a gold cup and handle, do you think that all 187 of those countries' central banks would get together and say, hey, let's buy it now before it takes off? I'm just saying, greed being what it is, insider trading information being what it is, and all 187 countries on the planet, central banks, all agreeing that they had to have more gold in their coffers before Basel III's full enactment. Could that be a reason why gold's running and silver hasn't started running? Because it's actually not a gold run yet. It's a front run of central banks because of Basel III needing to increase their gold holdings. Then gold will run. So I anticipate gold could probably hit $10,000. But the reason why I believe silver is not running is because central banks are buying the gold. It's not because of the cup and handle of gold going up. Now in the purchasing, central banks in the purchasing of the gold, it is causing the price to go up. Yes. But if it was a bull run, a precious metals bull run cycle, which we are in, But if it was a traditional cycle, silver would sprint by now because gold doesn't go up, come down, go back up, which it has already done without silver starting a sprint, which means it going hella up in price, not just $1, $2, $3. So the explanation I'm giving for this, hey, what's up? Who came in here? William, what's up? And C4, excuse me. Let's see, and that's what I'm explaining, William. I think the reason why gold's going up prematurely on the cup and handle of the bull market run for precious metals is because of the purchasing, mass purchasing of 187 central banks, world central banks or country central banks needing to increase their holdings because of the Basel III Accords that were drawn up in 2008 after the 2008 financial debacle. To prevent another financial debacle, they all agreed they had to have more gold in their coffers. So what I think is happening is they're buying the gold now because they know on the cup and handle when the actual price of gold does go up based off of fundamentals, not just an inflow of money, because anytime you inflow money into any asset class, it's going to go up. It's not going up because of the cup and handle is my argument. It is going up, but it's going up because of all the investments, because of the central banks needing to hold more gold. And that's why I don't think it's part of the actual cup and handle of the precious metals market, because again, silver should have already started sprinting, which means it would have already, if gold's gone up 100%, silver should have gone up 200% by now. Not that it's not going to. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying we're not in the upscale of the cup and handle of the precious metals market. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot more upside. I think this increase in price, specifically in the gold sector, is because of central banks buying, because of the Basel III Accords. Let me get back to chat here and see. See, China is buying gold like the Federal Reserve is buying debt. What's up, Tom? Everyone's just saying hi. Okay, what was your at the end of 2025, the end of this year? Okay, premature buying of gold at a lower price by central banks before it goes up drives the price up to 3,600. They've probably bought up a majority of a percentage. They've probably already bought up like probably 60% of the gold they need in their holdings before the end of June 30th, 2028. So 2025 final price should start there somewhere this year. The gold precious metals bull run should actually take effect, where silver will be affected by it. And that's when you can tell that it'll be a full actual, the time of the gold bull run is when silver starts sprinting. Then you know. So the price action that we're seeing now is just because of a lot of buying, not because of the bull market, but because of central banks needing to buy to come in compliance with Basel III Accords. So the end price this year for gold, minus it being reset in price, and there is a possibility that'll happen. Let's see. Things go the way they're going now. $4,500, $5,000 maybe. Yeah, $4,500, $5,000. Unless CERN actually can turn lead into gold, and they make a little handheld model where you can go out and buy lead and turn it into gold, in which case gold would be $5 an ounce. And that's probably why they'll never be able to create gold from lead. Just saying, it would fuck up economics big time. William, so gold bottom. Minus a crash of the economy, I think, and I'd have to look at the charts. I think the bottom I gave for silver was in 28 in the current scenario it's in now. And I think, what did I say on gold back then? 2,000? No, was it 3,000? 2,800 to 3,000, I believe, is the bottom, the new bottom of gold. But I'd have to look at the chart and see where the prior. So that's just off the top of my head, trying to recall what I saw several months ago. So don't hold me to that 100%. But I believe somewhere around there. It's a little bit lower than 3,000 would be the new bottom. So it's between 28 and 3,000, I believe. But I tell you what, I'll look at the chart right now and I'll give you a little something. All right, let's see. Wow, this doesn't break it down that good. Let's do 1 month. Nope, that's not good. 32. Let's see there. Yeah, 29. 29 for a new bottom. So yeah, between 28 and 3,000, I'd say is the bottom for gold. Well, see, and this is another thing I don't understand. If everyone understands that the price is manipulated, how can you chart it? Unless they're allowing for the dynamics of charting to work and only manipulating the price. You see what I'm saying? So either the charting of silver is wrong or there's no manipulation. That or we're buying the fact that the manipulation is solid and we're relying on the silver chart. I still can't justify that one in my own psyche. And that's why I fucking ran so hard. Oh yeah, Mark Rubio. Back to my point. What I forgot, I just remembered because it's going back on platinum. Okay. Mark Rubio gave a perfect explanation when Congress was threatening him, saying, "Well, the aid, foreign aid, merit aid, this thing they just cut, right?" He was like, "No, it ain't hurting no one." And if you look at China, their aid isn't aid; it is loans. Oh, this is my back pocket. It's loans that they have. It's predatory lending. Hold on, I got to take this. Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up?
So I just left the house a couple minutes ago, and Faye's son is out in his front yard by the fence giving himself a hand job.
I'll call the cops.
Yeah, it's good Lord.
Yeah, I'll call the cops.
All right, thank you.
Not a problem. Wow. Life continues. Yeah, it's crazy in the hood. The guy across the street's mom lives there, and he's like in his 30s, but he's like big boy, about 6'4", 250. Pretty big boy, but he's not all up here. And he's like living in a tent in her front yard because she won't let him inside. Because about a year and a half ago, my little skinny ass had to get in his way to keep him from whooping his mama's ass. And I was able to stop him. Yeah, I was. You know it. But anyhow, I didn't appreciate the pain that I felt, but I was able to do it. And my lady upstairs, who lives in the same house, just called and told me that he was out in front of her house jacking off. And I don't want to deal with that. So what I'm going to do is I'll just wait, call his mom, and tell his mom, hey, you know what? Get rid of that tent. Send him on his way. He's a man. Mate, what's up? Yes, she did. There's a gentleman out front across the street masturbating right now. But it's one crazy dude, and his mom lives there, and it's a longer story than just some random person. He's actually been a problem for about 2 years. And the only thing that's going to solve it is for her to move to a new location, for him not to know where she moves to, and then he'll just do what crazy people do. Yeah, Jeffro, but this one I'm leaving alone. Oh God, I don't need it right now, so I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, because the cops aren't gonna come for something like that, because they also know who he is. Because the reason why I had to handle him when he was attacking his mom is executive decision, exactly, because the cops wouldn't come. Because I called the cops and said, hey man, he's beating up on her. The cop was like, dude, I told him he's like 6'4", 250. He's like, fuck man, I'm only 175. I need to get back up. I was like, dude, it's a 911. I'm 145. Go ahead and take a coffee break. I'll handle it. You know? So even the cops said, no, I need backup. I'm like, you fucking bitch. You got a fucking PR-24. You got all the fucking equipment to take a motherfucker down, and you need backup? Punk. So I went out there with no equipment and handled it. And I don't feel like doing that today. Thank you very much for being here. As I said, things are going to be changing big time. And back to Mark Rubio. What was Mark Rubio saying about platinum? it was saying about fraud that was going on, where like the U.S. aid, the 400 or 500 million we were given to South Africa. Quiet, Gandalf. Only 12% of it actually hit the ground in South Africa. Quiet. I know you're meow, 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 meow. Okay. Only 12% of it actually hit the ground. The other 88% was consumed by bureaucracy. And what he was saying is we're going to change up the way we do U.S. aid, since they only need money because that's all that hit the ground. We're only going to give them maybe 20%, and the American government's going to distribute it out through Mark Rubio's agency and not through these government maintained operations, or GOM or GMO or whatever they are that the Democratic Party created, for which I already told you that they, before Biden got out of office, 2 weeks before he got out of office, he gave these GMOs $90 billion. And they didn't have the proper paperwork. So that's going to be prosecuted. So there's going to be a lot more people going to jail within the next couple of months, because $90 billion of your and my tax money was given to someone just because they didn't want to wait for Trump to get in office to do the proper paperwork. So that tells me it's fraudulent, and a lot of people will go to jail. What's up, Hunter? A lot of people will probably go to jail. What's up, Gerald? And that's why I say that, because it's going to happen, man. Things are changing. These people, I found out they did that because they were expecting Trump to politically go after his opponents who tried to go after him, but he's not. And in them anticipating him going after them politically, they made the premature move of taking all that money and giving it to their friends, basically, not legally. It hasn't happened yet, but the money was given out, so it's not been proven. And that's what it is, shall I say, because I don't want to say anything that's not 100% true and accurate. So they gave away $90 billion to their friends 2 weeks before Joe Biden got out of office, without them doing any of the proper paperwork or any of the proper stuff needed to get billions of dollars handed to you. So those people are going to go to jail, along with the people that were in office that facilitated that. So there are going to be people that are going to be going to jail. Yeah, Gerald, I know you heard about it. You're up on what our government's doing. And one congressperson's already going to jail. They're going to have to face charges, federal court charges, because of breaking into the ICE facility. I mentioned to someone in that realm, what about the 52 congressmen 2 Congresses ago that voted to abolish the Constitution of the United States? I found that to be treasonous. I found that to be treasonous, considering you take an oath to the nation to uphold the Constitution, and then you vote to abolish it. I'm still waiting for that justice to come. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's above the law. And these politicians thinking they're above the laws. What was it? I heard, oh yeah. I finally heard something from Hillary Clinton I love to hear. I heard a quote from Hillary Clinton here a couple of days ago. She says, if they're trying to take me down, all of Washington's going down, because I'm going to narc them all out. I was like, focus on Hillary Clinton. As we take her down, she's going to narc everyone else out to get her a lighter sentence. Go for her. She'll tell you all the dirt. And all of these guys know that it's the hour is coming. Yeah, sedition, exactly. Yeah, and it's been well covered and covered up, actually, but still in your face, like Pizzagate. Yeah, there's something out about Pizzagate, and some rapper guy talking about it, saying, dude, it's in your face. You just don't realize it. They're so fucking brazen and bold about it. And he started showing some pictures. I was like, whoa, really? Yeah, new context there. Well, actually, yeah, he's got charges coming up against him too. And also the 51 other security. See, and this is another thing. When Tulsi Gabbard took away the 51 security agents lifetime security clearance, she opened them up for prosecution. So when she said that a couple months ago, like 8 weeks ago, I was like, ooh, cool. And now, so we still got to see the effects of that. And that means a lot of these people are going to, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I don't know how financially it's going to be crazy. So get your shit now, fill your pantries, because there might be supply disruptions. Because like I said earlier in the stream, that when rich people get busted, they try and commit as much chaos as possible to divert the attention from themselves. So if some of these people are supply moguls that own trucking companies, that, you know, they might shut their own shit down for a day or two. I mean, there's lots of things that possibly could happen by rich people having to pay the price. They're not going to do it willy-nilly and happily go to jail. They're going to cause problems. So it could be food problems, could be a lot of problems. So fill your pantries up. You know, get seeds. Get seeds right now, because there might be supply mail problems. Quiet, Ginger. So, you know, just think a little bit of what could be a problem that you couldn't go without for 3 months, and try and stock up on that. I ain't saying it's going to get that bad. And the reason why I say just stock up for a 3-month supply, because you'll be eating that stuff in 3 months anyhow. But it'll get you through any possible small term supply disruption. Yeah, that was Ginger. The one before that was Gandalf, and the one before that was Dixie. They're hitting me hard today with the meows. I don't really think they're happy with all the little kittens in the other room, because all the big cats, my original 9, 6 of the 9, 7 of the 9 stay in this room away from the kitties. They're just getting used to them. They'll get used to them. Once they get bigger and can interact with them and play with them, I'll be living in hell. And I'll need a bigger house. It's another reason to move to Alabama. Get a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, big old fat ass house. Couple acres so I can bring outside kitties. But anyhow, yeah, there's a lot of things going to be happening. And as far as platinum goes, we have a on the planet right now, we have a 3-month supply of platinum that has been mined and ready to go into industry or coinage or jewelry or whatever. Only 3 months. If you look at the industry, any industry, if they only have a 3-month supply, it's called a squeeze. So it's just now starting to hit the price. Oh, I have so many videos, dude, of these kitties. I could probably do, was it jingle bells and meows from all their different meows. Meow, 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 meow. What's up, Pete? Yeah, you got to work, man. You got a big old farm and a bunch of animals to take care of, and 3 new kitties that you could have had of mine, because I have 8 of them in the other room. I'm just playing with you, bro. What prevents palladium from taking the gas out of platinum? Well, use case. You can't use palladium and hydrogen. Can't combine the two. You can with platinum. So technology will prevent that. It's and that is why, because if it wasn't that way, China would have bought 3.5 million ounces of palladium instead of platinum last year for the new car engines that they have to build. But the fact that they bought the platinum over palladium tells me that the new technology of those hydrogen hybrid engines or full hydrogen engines, which they're also building, it's all based off platinum and not palladium. So it's already a set in stone that the technology is for platinum and not palladium. Not saying palladium won't go up or down. It is a platinum group's metal, same as osmium, and this they're in for crystallized osmium. But I mainly just talk about platinum because it's the one that is a monetary metal. Palladium is not. Osmium is not. Platinum legally is money. And I don't care what any of these fools say. If you can get a platinum eagle, go look at the law. All American eagles are legal tender. If it's platinum, then platinum is a monetary money. 1997, that became law. People just don't like the law don't like following the law because it doesn't fit their profile. But according to the law, if it is minted as a sovereign coin of the realm, which the American Eagles are, gold, silver, and platinum are all coins of the realm, the American realm. Therefore, they are legal tender in America, which means gold, silver, and platinum are monetary metals in America. Nationwide, or worldwide, you can make an argument. No, it's not. Blah blah blah. And in Tanzania, they don't even know what it looks like. Okay, cool, whatever. I'm talking about in America, American law, not Judeo-Christian law in Islamabad in the third fucking galaxy 10 years away from here, whatever. Right here, right now in America, platinum is legal tender. Whether or not people accept that, hey, that's another story. But the facts are the facts. You look it up, Google it. Is there such thing as American Eagle platinum coin? What defines the American Eagle coin over any other coin? Google these things and find out the facts. Silver will bring you in the most money, yes. Silver will bring you in because it's cheapest. So its upside's a lot better. They have the Palladium Eagle. Oh, that's right. They came up with the Palladium Eagle, what, last year? The first year they meant. I'm going to have to Google this, William. I heard they were going to, but I didn't follow up on it. Does America have a Yep, 2017. I'll be a son of a bitch. See, I'm not even up on it. Good call there. So now, as of 2017, Palladium 2 is a monetary metal. And I am going to print this out right here. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, William. I did not, like I said, I don't follow Palladium. So I knew I thought it was like last year or 2023 that they made it. But yeah, and right there it says it. U.S. Mint has produced American Palladium Eagle coins since 2017. I did not know that. So it applies. Now palladium, add palladium to it. Palladium is a monetary metal in the United States because the U.S. Mint, the federal government's monetary arm, said so. Yeah, no, I imagine it's a very beautiful coin. What's the price on those, William? I know it's probably what, about $950, $970? Wild guess. I haven't looked at the price of palladium. I know it's cheaper than platinum, but after you put it in eagle form, they usually add 100 to 150. Oh, I'm sure there's a premium, Jay. What? Oh, platinum. Yeah, platinum silver eagles are expensive. Why? Because the U.S. Mint knows platinum's worth a lot of money. And like I was saying earlier, the only reason the price of gold is going up is not because the natural cup and handle formation and the natural bull market of the precious metals industry, but because of the time and history of the 2008 financial debacle and the creation of the worldwide thing called the Basel III Accords that's supposed to be enacting between July 1st, 2025 and ending full adoption of it in June 30th, 2028, is causing all 187 central banks of the world to purchase gold prematurely before a price run up. And in buying gold in that amount, they have ran the price up because they increased the market share of it by the amount of purchases going on. You can do the same thing in crypto. If you have 1,000 people throw $1,000 at a small cap crypto, it'll fucking exponentially go up because you got a lot of new money flowing. Is it natural? No. So the price action of gold right now is not natural. I do not believe it's a natural increase. I believe it's increasing because central banks are buying it. And I believe the gold bull run is still yet to come. I mean, we might be in it. They might have timed it to where they're doing it at the same time as the run when it was supposed to have gone up. And we'll know for sure that we're in the starting phase of the gold, the bull market of the precious metals when silver sprints. That comes after the gold run. And like I said, gold's gone up, come back down, gone up, come back down, gone up, come back down, gone up. and silver hasn't sprinted yet. And that's what leads me to believe it's an artificial increase of price, not a natural bull market of the precious metals. And that artificial increase in price is due to exponential purchases by central banks because of the enactment of Basel III Accords. If that makes sense. I know it's long-winded, but I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, palladium's probably, let me check out, see if I can't get a price of the palladium eagles. Oh, holy shit. Palladium American Eagle 2024 1 ounce palladium proof coin, $1,545. The Canadian, this is wow. The Canadian, let's see, what year is it? It doesn't say a year. Canadian 1 ounce palladium Canadian maple leaf is only $1,303. So there's a $242 difference, probably premium related, on the palladium coin. And even your 2021 American Palladium Silver Eagle is at $1,549. It's actually more expensive by $4 earlier years of palladium. And the 2023 W $25 1 ounce palladium. Wow, so they're valuing palladium on the coin at $25. That's interesting, because platinum is listed as $100. So the American Mint, U.S. sovereign mint, is valuing palladium at 25% of what they value platinum at. That is interesting, and valuing it half of what they value gold at. See, that's what interests me. How do they get that value on the coin if it's not subsequent to the price action of the actual metals? There's something in there. They're not doing it because they're stupid. They got a reason for doing that. Yeah, I imagine, William, that you'd have to put in a minimum order to get those because they're not sought after. I'm sure the palladium coin is not a high purchase coin. Okay, Jay, I'll take that. Yeah. Yeah, see the price difference, Jay? The Eagles, American Eagles, were $1,650, and the Canadian maples of the same year, same metal, is $400 cheaper. Wow. That just, again, that's a tell of how much value the American currency, or the belief in the American currency, has over other countries' currency. There's Gandalf. Yeah, it's a platinum group metal. They seem to rape you on the platinum group metals on premiums. That's my Russian connection right there. If I want to know what's going on in Russia, I ask my Russian blue. Ain't that right, comrade? Das Vidanya. Yeah, and that's the co-host, indeed. He's the alpha male. He's Simba of the tribe. Although Shadow, my black cat, girth-wise, is twice his size. His paws are bigger, his forearms are bigger, his body's more girthy, skeletals twice as big. Gandalf's actually the smallest male cat I have, but he is the top cat. He actually likes hanging out up here above everyone else, letting them know that he's the top cat. And that's why you usually see lions up high over all the lionesses or tigers. Lion. The male lions always seems to be up higher than the female lions. Yep. Now, what Gerald's tapping into is the economic shift that's coming. It's coming along, and it's also probably planned with the enactment of Basel III. And it's an economic shift into layering another sector of economics due to technology onto our existing technology to advance our whole infrastructure into a digital format or a new tech economy. So it's right now it's called crypto. That's how they're selling it to us as. But the use case of these blockchains and these different projects, about 90% of them are trash. But there's about 5 to 10% out there that they're going to be adopted into the layered economy of the digital that's going to be on top of our regular economy as they blend together to increase through technology. Our economy has to keep up with technology. Bottom line, it has to. So we're going to have to adopt. We use credit, Visa, MasterCard, American Express for decades. That's old technology. This is the new stuff that's coming in. And whatever people say about it, whatever, it's not that big a deal. It's just it's phase 2 of the credit system, electronic credit system that we've been using for years, more advanced, more separated in individual use case. And that's where you have all the crypto coins out there that are actually Ponzi schemes. But if you get through that, there's quite a few out there, a good 200 to 300 out there that are very, very good use case, actually are going to make it through because they actually are part of the layering into our economy. The others are just whitewash. So that's what Gerald's talking about. And what he means is Congress is going to be passing a law that's going to allow financial institutions to create a digital stable coin backed 1-to-1 by $1, which is also going to help out the US dollar and the US economy. It's a 2-for-1 for the American economy. And they're going to be able to turn that their company's dollar or crypto coin or stable coin will be used at Walmart, 7-Eleven, Circle K's, buying houses, selling houses. And there's going to be several of these financial institutions that are going to create their own stable coin, and they're going to compete for your business. And that's the change in economics. Because right now, how many of you have thousands of dollars waiting in your savings account because you're getting such a great interest rate on it like you did in the 70s? Yeah, you're lucky to get 2%. You lose money on most of it. This new layered in economy is going to take us back to where it'll be a stable coin that you're using, but they'll offer 5, 6, 7% on savings, 1 or 2% for loans, and they're going to compete with other financial institutions for your business. And that's going to be the great part for us as a consumer. So it's a great thing that's happening. What's up, Silver Shelby Sacker? Sorry, I didn't see you come in. Sean Combs, trial market predictions. I don't have any for because I haven't kept up with it. But yeah, that's where the crypto, digital, blockchain technology stuff, it will be part of our economy. It's the next level of the credit card system. And more advanced, quicker, better, it's like Superman 2.0, and there's no kryptonite around. I don't know, Jeffer. I talk over him sometimes, and I apologize for that, Gerald, when we talk. I do talk over him sometimes. Metal Matt, I don't know how it's going to start. The only thing I can go off of as a reference is 1836 to 1862 here in America. Congress allowed banks to create their own dollars, US dollars, and the same thing happened that's going to happen with these financial institutions. Congress allowing them to create their own dollar, but it's a digital dollar because we're layering in a digital economy. But it's a repeat of economic history. We've got an example to go by. If you just research the history of 1836 to 1862, America's economics, and see how prosperous we were. And you won't fight it so much. Hey, what's up, B. Taylor? And also, what happened after they changed that was the Industrial Revolution, the start of the Industrial Revolution. So a lot of good things happened to America during that time of economics when we allowed banks to create dollars and compete for the consumer or the American citizen. So, you got to look at things from all angles, not just the negative angle. That's why I have unique perspectives and I try and bring them to y'all. And they actually seem to be more accurate than some of these YouTubers, most of them. And also the decriminalizing. Okay, first off, Drug Enforcement Agency, as of November last year, I think November 6th, started working with the Judicial Department to decriminalize marijuana from a Class 1 felony to a Class 3. Class 3 felony enables it legally to be used for industrial and medical uses if applicable. The industrial uses, we all know what the medical uses, I've spoke of this. Medical uses of marijuana, medical marijuana stocks go up, all this other stuff. But the industrial use of hemp that's being waylaid because weed, a separate plant but looks similar and in the same genome family, hemp is not allowed to be used right now. It used to be in Washington days, they had all the rope was hemp rope. Yeah, it was a good product. And then we switched over to, you know, whatever we're using now, and then synthetics now and whatever. Oh, nice. I wish I could highlight things, but I'm on YouTube and they don't allow me to highlight things, but I'd highlight that, William. Wow, I lost my point I was going to make. Big, beautiful bill. I see Gerald. Yeah, back to the stable coins. The consumer is going to be sought after by these financial institutions, and a way to profit off of this. See, they always forecast things. If we know it's happening and we know it's happening, Congress is putting out this bill. Companies, and I have done a video, and I gave a list of 7 companies that were checking out the possibilities of making one of these stable coins. So another way for these companies to make money and cover up for the high debt is to add on a layer of asset class. Laying on a layer of asset class would be allowing them to create a stable coin, because now they're building equity in that stable coin that they can use to offset their balance sheets, and that puts them in a better position. Therefore, their stock price jumps. So go back and watch my videos when I gave the list of those companies that are looking to actually forget that. Keep up on a daily basis with what companies are applying to be able to create a stable coin to be used as a dollar in the United States, and invest in that stock, because that stock will double. Because what they've just done by doing that is they've doubled their financial weight. So the price will go up accordingly. Gerald, I've known for quite some time. I know you know I've known because you've been watching my show too. I was one of the first people. I thought last Congress was going to pass that bill, and it got turned down, but that was due to political maneuvering. Trump wants a lot of stuff to happen during his tenure. So now he's got the World Cup, he's got the World's Fair, he's got the new bills coming out of stuff under his tenure to make him look like the best president in the world. That was political maneuvering. It should have happened last Congress, along with the decriminalization of medical marijuana, or marijuana, so it could be used for medicinal purposes. But back on hemp, if you have 1,000 square acres, which we have lots of here in America, and you grew nothing but hemp, we would not have to cut down another tree for wood in America. We would not have to import any wood. We would not, well, we could export, but 1,000 square acres, 1,000 square acres, I think, and don't hold me accountable to that exactly, but I believe it's 1,000 square acres of hemp growing. It takes 9 months, gets 20, 30 foot tall, can be processed into several different products, one of which being lumber. The great thing about hemp lumber, due to technology being able to create lumber, like they create the false lumber they do now, makes it look like lumber, but it's like concrete or something like that. Well, they can do the same thing with the hemp, except for hemp is mold resistant, mildew resistant, bug resistant. Can you see the benefits? Oh yeah, and it's also stronger and more durable and flexible than hardwoods. We don't use hardwoods to build anymore. It takes too long, it's too expensive. And therefore you have a shittier house. Since the 80s, they've been making shitty houses with softwoods. If you have a house built with something better than a hardwood that doesn't mold, mildew, rot, or attract insects, that's a winner. And that's what hemp wood can do, just one of many things to add manufacturing here in America. So the decriminalization of weed from a class 1 to a class 3 scheduled drug is a lot of economic implications. You should try and research it and try and take advantage of those financial implications, because they're out there to be had. And those who get in early profit most. It's like getting into a stock at or getting into BTC at 1 cent or $100,000? Which one would you rather be, early or not so early? There's a lot of zeros between the waiting time between getting in early and not getting in till later. So do your own research, but look into it for sure. Yeah, William, again, I wish I could highlight comments. Again, I'm on YouTube, not on StreamYard, so I can't highlight comments. But yeah, fireproof, petrifies as it cures. And that's another thing, talk about petrification. There's been a 15-year studies going on this thing called Biocrete, where they mix this certain thing into the concrete mixture, and they created this S, 15 foot tall, real sharp S, real curvy like that, 5-6 foot wide. And they wanted to see how this new Biocrete would act. So they were giving it 15 years because theoretically what was going to happen is as it cracked and it weathered and water and oxygen got into the crack, the bio material added to the concrete would solidify into limestone, making concrete over time harder than when poured. So in other words, if you have a 4,000 PSI, it'll stand for maybe 50, 80 years before it starts to crumble. But if it had Biocrete added to it, in about 200 to 300 years, it would be pure limestone. And that structure would look like, I don't know. Hold on, here's I'm going out on a conspiracy limb here, guys. All those things in Ethiopia, you see those sunken mausoleum type intricate freaking detailed churches that are carved 100% out of stone. What if they had this technology a couple thousand years ago and they did it out of concrete and it turned into stone? I'm just saying it could happen. You can't discount it. Can't prove it either, but Let's see what you guys have to say. I think we need to go to the bank for war boxes. Pennies. Oh yes, thank you. Silver Shelby Stacker. Pennies. Yes, buy lots of pennies because if they're extincting the penny, it gains more value over time. So if you want to make your great grandkids wealthier than fucking hell, go out and buy shitloads of pennies never opened before. Last year minting of the penny ever. In 50 to 80 years, those things in mint condition, you'll probably be able to buy a freaking house with a couple rolls of those. That's how you plan for the future generations and wealth transfer through several generations, is thinking like that. Good thought, Silver. I'm keeping all my pennies, and I actually am going to be buying probably $100 worth of brand new pennies before they sears out. No, at that point in time, Jeffro, the pre-1982s are not nearly worth as much comparatively, because if the penny is an extinct, no longer used coin form, all pennies become collectors. And the longer you have ones in mint condition, the more valuable they become. So therefore, 2025 mint condition, never opened, sealed for 50 years will be worth more than 1940 penny that's got lots of scarring on it. Because when it comes to value in numismatic, it's all about how it looks. That's why you pay to have it graded. So if you have something that's old, an old coin in mint condition, or an old coin that's trashy, one could be worth $1, one could be worth $1,000. So you got to consider that, and that's what I say in wealth preservation through generations. Instead of hunting and searching for those 1982s and saying, God, I hope I got enough. I got 1,700 of them. You can go buy the 2025s, seal them up, and say, hey, I don't know your name, but to my great grandkid, when you hit 21, I hope you know enough about economics to do good things with these coins. They're in mint condition and they're 80 years old. Last year, the penny was created in America. That's going to be as valuable as the Revolutionary War, the Yankee coins, because there was a Confederate coin and a Yankee coin. The Confederate coins ain't shit no more because that country doesn't exist. Those Yankee coins are, because they were in competition with a foreign government, the Confederate government, which was a foreign government. They had their own monetary system, their own government, everything else like that. And that's what I brought up to this guy, Frostbite Coins and Collectibles. I brought up how the Confederate soldiers are considered U.S. veterans when they were actually a separate country fighting against U.S. and the U.S. veterans. But they came up with a law allowing them to be U.S. citizens, veterans. Helped quail the hatred of the North versus South, I believe was the intent. Flex capacitor. You don't need a flex capacitor, Jeffro. Just know that history repeats. If you have a 80-year-old penny right now, what would that put it at? 1940s penny in mint condition. How much would it be worth compared to a 1980 penny that has a little bit of silver in it or quarter or whatever? I'm almost assure you the 1940 penny in mint condition has a lot more value to it than that 1982 whatever. So prepare for it. Know it's going to happen. Buy for the future. Buy for your future generations. It won't cost you much to buy 50 cents of pennies. I think it costs 50 cents. The rolls. Get brand new rolls, never open, straight from the mint. Put them in a vacuum sealed bag and stick them in a little box and fucking say, open in 80 years. You're welcome, family. And make sure your kids and your grandkids know about economics and pray to God they teach it to their kids and their grandkids. So when they open up that little box that has all those mint condition 80-year-old freaking coins that are no longer created, the numismatic value of those coins will be off the hook. And they'll have thousands of them. Not just the few they were able to find before the 1982 date, before, that's the principle I'm using. Metal detectors are good, especially in Europe. The longer your country's been around, the better the metal detecting is. Go to Greece with a metal detector. I guarantee you, any spot you want to go for a quaint little romantic lunch with your old lady, take the metal detector, because there's been people going through there looking at that spot as a romantic spot for about 3,000 years. One of them dropped something. They dropped a coin, an earring, something. It's been 3,000 years they've been going to that one spot, because it not only does it look like a nice romantic spot for you and your wife now, but 500 years ago it was, 1,000 years ago it was, 1,800 years ago it was, 2,200 years ago it was. In other words, you're not the first human, because they've been there for 2,000 to 3,000 years. I use the example of Scotland. I believe it's Isle of Man. They brought in LiDAR to look for old tracks and traces of older geological structures. They did half the island and they stopped. They said, no, we don't need them more. And I said, why? They said, we made so many discoveries on this one little island that we'll be here for the next 100 years uncovering it. Because that one little island's been occupied for over 2,000 years. So there's 2,000 years of different settlements on that one island, and archaeology to go along with it. And due to LiDAR and that being able to be seeing things that our physical eyes don't see until you dig it up and whatnot, they said they don't want to use LiDAR ever again, because they discovered too much and they can't uncover and document it all. So there's a lot out there, a lot. And the longer people have lived there, the more shit there is to have. So that's a good way to get rich too. If you want to get rich, go to a Greek island, go to Italian, go to any place that's been around for a couple thousand years, get a fucking little fucking zippy-doo plane, remote plane, model plane, put some LiDAR on it, let it fly around, hook it up to your laptop, do all the computer stuff to it that you need to make it all hook up and intersect with each other, and see it play out in real time. It'll show you all kinds of shit. And then you just bring it down, you go to the GPS areas that you see and start digging. You'll find all kinds of crap. That's, I think, the company SFRX, Seafarer Explorer, out of Florida. The reason why I like their stock is they're taking LiDAR and introducing it to underwater usage, which means they got to do a lot of stuff, waterproofing, all this other stuff, and the technology of it shooting through the water instead of air. A lot of differentials going on there, and that's just part of what they're doing. But once they get their whole techniques mapped, done properly, they'll be able to go through the Gulf of Mexico and map out not where the boats went. Obviously, that's not where, but where the boat landed after it sunk in the hurricane and all its treasure was 200-300 years ago. It'll be able to map out the direction of flow where it was to where it is. And that's where all the treasure is. And that's what we can't see now. And that is what makes this company SFRX highly valuable and sought after by me, because I think as soon as they perfect that technology, they'll be the only company in the world that's got that technology, and they're going to make so many Mel Fisher style discoveries of treasure wrecks. Not only that, they're coming up with technology to drill into reefs, living reefs, and extract treasures out of living reefs without destroying the reef. A lot of good reasons to like that company. Pre-82 pennies are real copper, yeah, and that's cool. Real copper is cool. I can go to copper fucking mine right now and get real copper. The value of it, again, compared to with the way I was describing the value of having a 2025 coin, the last year ever minted coin of that coin, that fact right there on a numismatic collector's scale makes it worth more. Because you can find lots of 1982s and pure copper. Everyone's collecting them. Thousands of people are collecting them. But who in 50, 80, 100 years is going to have a brand new 2025, never unwrapped penny, U.S. penny? Well, you will if you buy it and you save it for your grandkids. You'll have a whole bunch of them in mint condition, and they're going to be worth a lot more money than the coins you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. I know they will. You don't have to trust me. Just live for 70 years, and then right before you die, you can say, damn, Neil was right. And you'll be like 130 or 120, and you'll have lived a good long time just to tell me I'm right. I'll be dead, so I won't hear you. Metal detectors are a good thing, though. Yeah, there you go. Mercury dimes. Yeah. Yeah, again, kids playing. Here in America, we've only been around for a couple hundred years. But the coinage throughout the time period, kids play. Kids lose shit. So if you get a farmhouse that's from 1800s, 1800s, hit a metal detector. I watched this one guy, a little bit of a show. He metal detects this one farm that used to be owned by Edgar Cayce. And I watch it just out of interest because I find Edgar Cayce interesting. I don't believe in anything that he did because it's not 100% accurate. And anything that's not 100% accurate is not of God. But that doesn't mean he doesn't say things that aren't right. By no means he does. But it's just not spiritual. I don't take it spiritual. Yes, someone here sent me a picture. Woo! Yeah. Pete the Sasquatch has one. How do I get there? We go. That's Pete. Was that DFX 300 metal detector? That's a good one to have. And the great thing about metal detecting and metal detecting technology is about 3-4 years ago, maybe 5. Oh, no, maybe longer. Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe. For the first time in history, metal detecting was made that penetrates more than 6 inches in the ground. I think it goes to 18 to 24 inches, which means any place that people have metal detected before, you can re-go over and still find shit because the metal detector is so much better now than 5 years ago. And I see this a lot in California because they sell not lots. They like Dan Hurd up in Canada. They have prospecting areas you buy for a year, and you can prospect that area because claims. They auction off claims, and you can buy the claims. And when this first new technology came out, a lot of people were buying claims or buying auction claims off. And they were going up there and finding more gold than the previous people did because of the change of the metal detector technology. So there's a lot to be said for technology. And then, again, a lot to be said for technology. Digital is a technological advance. So hold on 1 second. I got to take care of my meowing kitty. Mama rolled over on one kitty as she was feeding. And that one kitty didn't like it. It was going meow, meow, meow. But Mama had 6 others on her. And there goes squeaking again. 25 miles away from Chicago. You know, I think every now and then Gerald's around the Chicago area. And now a word from our sponsor. But yeah, anyhow, back to the original reason why I started this. There's a lot of things actually, and I wanted to show video, but I'm not on StreamYard, so I can't show the videos. But Judge Jean Adele got appointed to a position. She's going after Como for the sticking COVID patients in old folks home, which she said is equivalent to murder. So she's going after the ex-governor of New York. Congresswoman just got arrested for assault and battering ICE agents and illegally entering an ICE facility, and more arrests are coming. So these things that we've been looking for and wanting for to happen are happening, but what comes along with that is chaos. And that's what. Yes, Ginger, I hear you, honey. Successful bathroom use. Congratulations, good girl. Thank you for not shitting on the floor. But a lot of chaos is going to come with that. That's why I say just not prep. Load your pantry. Have a month or 2, 3 of food. Have a supply of water or a fresh water way to get fresh water. Just a little bit of what grandma did, and you should be fine. Make sure you have a 5-gallon of gas around, or 2. If you don't have a generator, look to buy a generator. Get the generator. It's got the inverter. So if you have solar panels, if the power does go out, your solar panels are still going to be feeding power through the power transition lines. You're just not getting it. So you unhook the power from your solar panels from the box and you plug them into the inverter of your generator. And then during daylight hours, at least you'll have power with power outages. And if you set for water, I've got like 8 5-gallon buckets of water that I use for I put my reverse osmosis water in. So I've got like 40 gallons at all times ready to go. That's 40 days for one person. It's you need. I'm single. I don't need. If you have a family, you need a lot more, so you think bigger. But and I've been doing that for years because I never wanted anything that the water was that they put in my water. I wanted it for myself, so it wasn't a prepper thing. It was a health reason why I chose to, for the past 15 years, to do a reverse osmosis system and keep bottled water that I made, and then I add Himalayan pink salt to it to put the minerals and elements in it that I want in it, and not what the government wants. I've done that for decades. Pantry, done that for decades. I just encourage everyone else to just don't think it's prepping. It's not prepping. It's common sense. There's a lot of crazy shit's fixing to happen, and it's a commonsensical to have your ducks in a row if you have a feeling shit's going to hit the fan. Yes, Ginger, I already congratulated you on proper bathroom etiquette. We've already seen there's a congresswoman been arrested. Judge Jean Adele is in a position to go after Como for murder during the COVID thing. They've discovered and made 100% legitimized Biden's pardons were false by auto sign, which means they're been negated. So we can see the Hunter and all these other people who got pardoned. Things are going to happen to them. These are very wealthy, well-connected people. So when they go down, they're going to cause a lot of problems. That's all I'm saying. Will it be supply chain problems? I don't know. Will it be electric going out? I don't know. Will they cause problems? Because they can, and that's what people do. So just prepare for things to get crazy for a little while, and then they'll get back under control. And the great thing about those process centers, eventually they're going to be buying micro nuclear reactors from this company called Dream Inc. In Idaho right now. They're actually a company based out of Switzerland, but they're in Idaho right now finalizing through the Department of, Nuclear Regulatory Agency, and finalizing their design, and then they're going to build it, and their design creates 60 megawatts of power, electrical power, and 60 megawatts of cooling power. And those are specifically designed for data processing centers. And there's a shitload of them going up all over America. That's not a stock tip. I'm just telling you, they're going to have a lot of sales. So, if you think their stock's going to go up if they sell a lot, their stock might go up. But hey, don't listen to me. I'm not an expert. Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's probably like an Epstein Files event, but in the courts. Because Sean Diddy, I believe, said that he's not cutting a deal. And that's why Mike Myers already went down. And he said more Hollywood stars are going to be going down too, because he ain't going down alone. Hate it for the assholes that did the wrong thing at the wrong time. Yes, Ginger, I know. You're a good girl. But, you know, I've never known anything in life where the piper doesn't get his due eventually. So if you dance the tune when the party's going, you got to think before you dance that the party's going to end and someone's going to have to pay the price. And if you don't, you're an idiot and you deserve what happens to you. Well, those people are idiots and they deserve what happened to them because they did the wrong thing when they had an opportunity not to. Nothing ever goes unpunished. Even if it's not in the lifetime, in history, it'll be recorded. And that's actually worse. And give an example of it being worse. How many of you guys have heard the story about Dr. Mudd and your name is Mudd? It used to be a big thing when I was a kid in the 70s. Your name is Mudd. We'd always say that. Your name's Mudd. You're no good. Your name's Mudd. And that story comes from Dr. Mudd during the Revolutionary War. And he was a traitor to America. And he was captured as he was spying for the English. And then I think during one of their naval battles where they got on land, they were able to free him. And he went and joined the English Navy. And they told him, forever in history, you'll be known as a traitor. And from that day forward, everyone said, your name is Mudd, in a derogatory manner, meaning that his family name was dragged through the mud for 250 years. And to this day, people who research that line of your name is Mudd, anyone who wants to research that, you'll find out it comes from a traitor named Dr. Mudd. So there's a lot of history in the doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing and paying the price. Guy lived a decent life, not a good life, but he lived a decent life in England. He'd had a better life if he wasn't a traitor here in America. But that's irrelevant because he's known as a traitor and his name is Mudd. And literally his name is Mudd, and also figuratively with all definitions of the inference of the word mud meaning trash. His name is Trash or Mudd. And that's where that saying came from. All right, on. Les Claypool from Primus made a song called My Name is Mudd. I wonder if it was based off the story of Dr. Mudd. That'd have been interesting. That's interesting to find out. I hope the tsunami of shame wipes everyone off their feet, William. They deserve it. I've lived a substantially moral life. I mean, I've watched porn. I've screwed girls out of wedlock. I've been drunk and went out whoring. I'm not a premier Christian, but I haven't gone out of my way to hurt people. I haven't gone out of my way to lie, cheat, deceive for power and self-glory and self-glorification. I've done the exact opposite. I try to be kind, helpful, and grateful. It's still being a sinner. So I hope they get their competence. Competence. I hope they get their competence. And they will. And Jeff play stupid games to get stupid prizes. That's it. We'll call them participation trophies. Participation trophies. That's why Jeffer says we all grow older and learn from our past. And that's why we should keep our family units together. So that way grandpa's past can be the grandson's knowledge, and he doesn't make the same mistake but learns from his grandpa because his grandpa's around. not in a nursing home because mom and dad don't want to take care of them because it's too much hassle and will affect their life of having a good time, getting in debt and causing them to lose their house and go bankrupt and be in the streets. But I digress. Anyhow, we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. I just wanted to get those things out. Everyone, please be kind, helpful, grateful. Know that we're adding a digital economy, layering it into our existing economy. Nothing bad is going to change. It's not going to change to the bad. It's going to be you might have growth pains, but it's the growth of our economy into a new sector. It's not a bad thing at all, and there are great financial opportunities to be had if you look at it in that mannerisms. And I suggest everybody does, because good people need to make money on this transition, not bad people. Having said that, peace out, babies. Gandalf says he's rolling over in his grave. Who's that? That's not Gandalf. Oh no, Gandalf's up there. That's Dixie and Ginger. My two girls are up there. You guys have a nice night. Got to see that. I got to push it down to see end stream.